Thank you, Russ, for standing in last week. You won't catch me with the accent, though. So maybe like you, I didn't grow up seeing vineyards in London when I lived. I didn't know much about vines at all. That intense cleaning, pruning process that was needed, such a scientific, chemical process to produce good fruit, good wine. Of course, I now know much more, having been to many vineyards across the world, I'm proud to say. And also De Funiac this week we're going to. Who knew? De Funiac has a winery. I remember hearing this reading, you can guess where we're going, over many years from John 15. And it's about Jesus saying, I am the true vine. I remember receiving it as a bit mysterious and brutal. All that pruning, chopping, cutting, implying that needed to happen to me too. Very impressionable. So I must admit, I was relieved to discover that the brutality of that word pruning can also be translated as cleaning. The word is also used in today's New International Version that we're reading, cleaning the vines. It makes more sense. You have to clean the vines up, get rid of unwanted growth to make way for even better growth, even better wine. So, John 15. I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes so that it will be even more fruitful. You are already clean because of the word I have spoken to you. Remain in me, as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Word of God for us today.
From Shel Silverstein, a children's book he wrote entitled The Giving Tree. Once there was a tree, and she loved a little boy. Every day the boy would gather her leaves and make them into crowns and play king of the forest. He would climb up her trunk and swing from her branches and eat apples. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. And the boy loved the tree very much. And the tree was happy. But time went by and the boy grew older and the tree was often alone. Then one day the boy came to the tree and the tree said, Come, boy, come and climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and eat apples and play in my shade and be happy. I am too big to climb and play, said the boy. I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money. Can you give me some money? The tree answered, I'm sorry, but I have no money. Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city. Then you will have money and you will be happy. And so the boy climbed up the tree and gathered her apples and carried them away, and the tree was happy. But the boy was gone a long time. And then one day the boy came back and the tree shook with joy, and she said, Come, boy, climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and be happy. I'm too busy to climb trees, said the boy. I want a house to keep me warm. I want a wife and I want children, so I need a house. Can you give me a house? The tree answered, I have no house. But you may cut off my branches and build a house. Then you will be happy. And so the boy cut off her branches and carried them away to build his house. And the tree was happy. But the boy was gone a long time. And then one day the boy came back and the tree was so happy she could hardly speak. Come, boy, come and play, she finally said. I am too old and sad to play, said the boy. I want a boat that will take me far away from here. Can you give me a boat? Cut down my trunk and make a boat, said the tree. Then you can sail away and be happy. And so the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away, and the tree was happy, but not really, for the boy was gone a long time. Then the boy came back again. I am sorry, boy, said the tree, but I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone. The boy answered, My teeth are too weak for apples now. The tree said, My branches are gone too. You cannot swing on them. The boy answered, I am too old to swing on branches. The tree said, "My trunk is gone. You cannot climb it either." The boy answered, "I'm too tired to climb." The tree sighed, "I am sorry. I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I'm just an old stump." The boy sighed, "Well, I don't need very much now. Just a quiet place to sit and rest." The tree straightened herself up as much as she could. "Well," she said, "an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down and rest." And the boy did, and the tree was happy. The Giving Tree is one of the more perplexing books in children's literature. It should be perplexing coming from Shel Silverstein, though. You won't find a biography much like his. Writer of children's books, reporter for Playboy magazine, inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame for writing A Boy Called Sue. The relationship between the tree and the boy, is it selfish? Is he only a narcissist taking everything for himself? Is the tree overindulgent? Is she foolish, self-destructive, codependent, enabling the boy's worst impulses? Is the story a symbol of parental love? Is it a metaphor for divine love? Does it shed light on our abuse of creation and the natural world? Is it a dark, melancholy story, or is it a story of deep, unyielding friendship? I think as parables go, it has all of these things. You can just have an interpretive field day with it. The simple, elemental story with complex, multi-layered meanings. And I'll add one more layer to that much deliberated tale. The tree loves this boy without limit and is always happy to give to the boy. Always, except in one case, when the boy is far away. When the boy is far away from the giving tree, then the tree is not so happy. So do not see the boy as simply a taker. He loves the tree very much, but he is simply needy. And the tree recognizes this, that even when he is an old man, the tree still calls him boy. He is a child to the end. He is a dependent. He is completely and totally reliant upon the giving tree for his livelihood and for his happiness. And the giving tree is more than happy to provide what the boy needs. I am the true vine. Remain in me. Remain in the vine. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Who knew that Jesus Himself is the giving tree, the true vine that gives life and subsistence to those who make their home in Him, who abide with Him. We've spent weeks now looking at the 7 I am statements in John's Gospel. I am the light of the world. I am the bread of life. I am the gate for the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the way. And today, the final installment, I am the true vine. I am the giving tree. There's a lot of irony here. Jesus makes this statement on Thursday night in the upper room to His disciples. He's just minutes away from giving everything for them, for all. His arrest and His trial are already in motion. He's just hours away from hanging on a tree, condemned and crucified. And the symbolism that follows, Jesus and His disciples will in moments be walking into the Garden of Gethsemane, an old, well-established olive grove, also filled with fig bushes and grapevines. The grapevine was the symbol of Israel. And this isn't unusual for us. Florida is the sunshine state, easy for you to say, but it's also symbolized by oranges. Georgia is the peach state. Mississippi is the magnolia state. Alabama is the cotton state. Israel was the grapevine state. The grapevine was imprinted on the temple coins of the period in which Jesus lived. It was a metaphor used by Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Hosea. Israel was God's vineyard, His vine. And Jesus to this says, I am the true vine. I am the source of your life and your wellness. And as the vine roots itself into the soil, it draws out the nutrients that are needed and the hydration that the branches must have in order to survive. And I'm very much like Anna, not around a whole lot of vineyards in North Georgia growing up. But since we bought the Rusty Goat Farm, I've learned a few things about muscadine vines. And I have learned that they can go 20 feet deep and have a root ball 30 feet around as they dig deep, deep, deep into the soil to find the nutrition that the branches need. And they can withstand storms and drought and disease, rooted in the soil as they are. And what Jesus is saying here is that He is rooted to the Father, in connection with Him, dependent upon Him, reliant upon Him, and we enjoy that life as Christ gives it to us. Remain in me. The old translations say, abide in me, and you will bear much fruit. Those older translations actually inspired the Coen brothers and Jeff Bridges in their production of The Big Lebowski. The dude abides. And if you know, you know. And if you don't know, you should. But onward now. Your spiritual health, your well-being as a person is in direct proportion as your connection with the source. Eugene Peterson in The Message paraphrases it like this: make your home in me, just as I make my home in you. Home is where each day begins. Home where each day ends. Home is where we eat, where we rest, where we play, where we love. Home is the star around which our entire lives revolve. Home is where we want to go when there's no place left to go. Home is where we always return to. Home is where the heart is. Home is home, sweet home. Home is our castle. Home is where we take the bacon and wait for the cows to arrive. Home is like no other place in the world. And no matter where you go or how far you travel, home is where we always return. Make your home in me. Rely upon me. Come back to me always. Eat, drink, sleep, love, play, fight, take shelter, take off your shoes. All of this. Make your home here with me. And I think that captures Jesus' sentiment best. There's another way of thinking about it. I have many friends who are in recovery. They go to AA or NA or SA meetings regularly, including our oldest son, Blaze. I just want to give a shout out to Blaze right here, who celebrated 2 years of sobriety just this past week. And if you see this later, Blaze, son, just keep going, keep moving. Way to go, way to go. And my friends in recovery, the ones who stay on the path, they really get this concept of abiding, of remaining, of finding home on the way. It's captured in step 11. It reads like this: seek through prayer and meditation to improve your conscious contact with God as you understand God, praying only for knowledge of God's will and the power to carry it out. Staying connected is how you stay on the wagon. Constant, conscious, mindful contact. If you don't stay with it, you won't stay with it. Be daily aware. Be hour by hour aware. Sometimes you have to be minute by minute aware that you are depending upon a source outside yourself for your strength and for your well-being. And still another example. Some 30 years ago, a friend of mine, his name was Chris, was hiking in the North Carolina mountains with his son and some friends. He was standing on top of Standing Indian Mountain in the Nantahala National Forest. And standing there taking in that 6,000 feet high vista, he had a heart attack. His son and his friends had to carry him off the mountain. And it was 14 hours down the mountain before the EMTs met him on the trail. And he was very fortunate to survive. But he did. And he was a changed person after that. And I don't just mean like his attitudes changed, like he gave up Little Debbie cakes. He went to decaf coffee. He quit drinking and smoking. He was just no more fun anymore. I'm not kidding as I say that. My point being is that it was such a startling event, such a near life-ending event, that he went to cardiac rehab. He played by the rules because now he realized his life depended upon him abiding in that program for him. It would keep him alive. And guess what? It gave him more than 30 healthy years before he would pass. But he was on that program to the day that he died. That's what we're talking about here. It's no mystery as to what Jesus is saying. It's not some high and mighty, super spiritual, or as elusive as it sounds. You don't have to be a monk in a cave to practice abiding in Jesus. You don't have to take vows or join a cloister or go to seminary. Simply make yourself at home in Jesus. Stick with the program. Work the steps. Begin and end with Him. When it comes to Him, stay on the wagon. If you fall off, climb back up. Change your lifestyle. Let it be more Christ-centered. Hold on to that pattern for living. And if that doesn't demystify things, maybe this will. The word abide or remain, make your home in me, that Jesus uses is an old primitive Greek word, and there's no ambiguity to it whatsoever. It simply means stay. It's what you would say to your dog. To keep them from harm. Stay. Come, boy, sit down. Sit down and rest. Stay put. Don't take what the giving tree gives and sail away. Rely on it. Stay in the shade. And what does a branch attached to this tree or vine do? Have you ever thought what a branch does with its time? It does nothing. It doesn't have to do anything because it's connected to the trunk. It's connected to the source. The branch grows simply because it is there. Thomas Merton asked, how does an apple ripen? It sits in the sun. That's all it's got to do. It doesn't have to work up anything because it is completely reliant upon power outside of itself. What about you? What could you possibly do for somebody else, really? What can you possibly do for yourself? It takes a power outside of yourself, outside of your own capacities. It takes a life of complete and total surrender so that the resources of Christ might come to us, flow through us, and give us life. Meister Eckhart, the German mystic, said, there is only one spiritual discipline, and that discipline is emptiness. Empty yourself that Christ will fill up the empty space within you so that God can be God within you. I believe that most of our personal suffering stems from the fact that we are always trying to solve our problems in our own power and try to do for ourselves the undoable. We cover the same ground over and over again, year after year, attempting to exorcise our demons, trying to recover from a painful past, making restitutions for past mistakes and the failures of yesterday, trying to get other people to do what we wish that they would do. We labor and we toil and we manipulate and become manipulated, all in an attempt to get from others or from the world what we think will help us or fix us, and all we end up is exhausted. But the exhaustion is the way forward. Francis Fenelon said it like this: you ask for a cure to get well. You do not need to be cured. You need to be killed. And he wasn't talking about suicide or murder. He's talking about the surrender and no longer struggling and fighting our self-absorbed, self-protecting, always working the angles ego. The agony that so many of us endure is the agony of not letting things go. Am I right? Because you have to find the source outside of yourself. Let's go back to the giving tree. I think it's slide 2 one more time. The boy who is so often interpreted as being selfish and self-centered. He's got one thing going for him. He always comes back to the tree. He came back to play. He came back to sleep in its shade. He came back to pick apples. He came back to be supplied with what he needed for his journey. He came back at last for a place to rest. Just sit for a while. Sit down, boy. Sit down and rest. And for so many of us, our lives would be so greatly improved if we could just find a way to sit down and rest in the sustaining power and love and life that God offers us. How does an apple ripen? It just sits in the shade. I hope you can find a way to do that this very week.